very possible Governor DeSantis could face one of his toughest critics. That would be Ag Commissioner Nikki Fried. If elected, she would be Florida's first female governor, but she's really less interested in making history and more interested in the future of her home state. Last week, I sat down with Commissioner Fried during her speech at the Tiger Bay Club in Ybor City. Your campaign commercial on your website says something new for Florida. What is the meaning there?
You know, I have seen our state change in the last 25 years, where we had a state that everybody came together, everybody worked across the aisles, put the people of our state before partisan politics. And what I have seen is complete corruption up in Tallahassee. I've seen that if you're not part of the Boys Club, if you're not part of special interests, your bills die. Legislation doesn't get passed for the best interests of our state. And so when I say something new, it means that somebody who's not part of the political system. I'm not a career politician. I was 15 years practicing attorney, so I come with a different perspective of how government should work.
Right now, your immediate opponent, Charlie Crist, seems to be sort of framing you as someone who lacks the experience that he has. How would you respond to that? And he seems to be saying something new is too new.
Well, not at all. You know, first of all, as a member of the business community for 15 years, we need non-career politicians in office. It is proven results that matter, and I've been able to get those accomplished every single step along the way. And you know, every previous governor wasn't previously governor beforehand. And so to say that that is a prerequisite to be governor is ludicrous. That's why we need something new.
One area where there seems to be less and less common ground as the days and weeks go by is how to manage the pandemic going forward. How would you manage it differently than the current governor in office?
Well, exactly the opposite the way he's approached it. He cracks under chaos. You saw when, you know, during the first, outbreak last year, he got angry a lot. He yelled at reporters. He yelled at people who were in opposition to what he was saying, didn't bring experts to the table, didn't bring elected officials to the table. And of course, encouraging everybody to get the vaccine. You know, this is, with the irony about this vaccine, it was developed under President Trump. President Trump and every elected Republican in the state of Florida and across the country has been vaccinated. So what we needed from this governor is to put aside his political future and put aside what he thinks the very loud minority in our state are looking for him and say, look, people, let's come together. Everybody get vaccinated. Everybody wear masks indoors. Let's follow the CDC guidelines. Let's get through this together. Well,
on the point of masks and where we go on that moving forward, I know, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, you came out with data suggesting that masks work in schools. The governor's administration seemed to criticize you for that, saying that you were cherry-picking data and that it didn't paint an entirely accurate picture about the effectiveness of masks. Is that a conversation worth having? Is it possible to have a conversation where it's not so polarized and you can talk about something like, okay, do we know if masks are working quantifiably yet without it being injected with politics?
Well, and that's what I've been asking for. The data that we utilized was the data that has been readily available. And so we didn't cherry pick anything. We took wherever there was a school board and a county that actually had data on their own portals. We took all that information and we just gave it to the people, which is what we've been asking from the governor from day one. And if the Department of Health says that that's not an accurate depiction of what is happening, fine, then release the rest of the data. Obviously, you have it if you're disagreeing with my assessment. So why are you not releasing it?
These last 18 months, we've all in some ways shared this experience together, but in some ways we've experienced it very differently. What have you learned personally, professionally, over the last 18 months through this pandemic?
You know, I've learned that people are survivors. You know, I saw that firsthand in the ag community, that we saw agriculture take a tremendous hit when all of the traditional food supplies got shut down between our schools, our restaurants, cruise line industry, our theme parks. And agriculture saw their crops not being able to be sold. And we provided new resources for them, but they stepped up. They stepped up to the challenge. And that's what you saw time and time again across our entire state.
What do we not know about you yet?
What do you not know about me yet? Let's see. You know, I'm just like everybody else, trying to just figure out who we are as people. And, I think that's the biggest thing that you don't see from the cameras and you don't see when I'm giving political speeches. That I love watching Gator football on Saturdays and having my bourbon, watching my SEC football. And that, we as elected officials, sometimes get put into a kind of box of what we're supposed to look like, what we're supposed to talk about, who we're supposed to be, and how we interact with people. And at the end of the day, we're just people.
Ag Commissioner Nikki Fried, in her own words tonight.